This is the book of Zephaniah, chapter 1, and verse 14. The great day of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai is near, and hasteth greatly. Even the voice of the day of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, the mighty man shall cry there bitterly. I'll read that again. The great day of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai is near, it is near, and hasteth greatly. Even the voice of the day of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, the mighty man shall cry there bitterly. Before I get on with this video, I want to give all praises to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai and double honors to the apostles, bishops, and elders of Great Millstone, and shalom to you hopefully elect. I'm your brother Yahweh from Great Millstone, Orlando, and through the power of the left hand of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, Esau more and more is closing in on the tribes, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native American Indians, all right, so-called, all right. As it appears, and Lord willing, it's the case, as far as I can't even say, I'll say once beloved DJ Trump, because I'm gonna go to this real quick. The devil doing what he always does, and showing his horns, showing his true colors. So that's why I said the once beloved DJ Trump, basically giving these people a false sense of hope, telling the people what they want to hear, but more and more, people are turning against the once beloved DJ Trump. And eventually it will get to a point where he just says the hell with it. All right. Because all the catering, all the, buttering up is only going to get us so far. Eventually Trump is just going to have to make his move. Or Esau, whoever it may be. Well, when I hear another, 4 years for another term. And like I said, a lot of us, most of us believe that, hey, Trump could very well be that cruel Lord. This could very well be the last term, just from where that things are going and how fast this devil is moving. But it's Sirach 14:7. And if he doeth good, he doeth it unwillingly. And at the last, he will declare his wickedness. So that's the point. At the last, he will declare his wickedness. All right. And more the devil is showing his horn. Esau is showing his horn. His horns, his true colors. All right. So with all this, with the tariff wars that's going on, that we are expecting to see the results, feel the results, Lord willing, shortly. All right. From the because it's a modern day siege. From the ports to even from within. With the trucking business, getting hammered. It's a modern day siege, man. All right, and again, more and more closing in on the tribes. More so, this guy Trump was just talking about. You basically, and not so many words. It was blatantly talking about how, hey, amongst the black communities, the crime. Because as it's been said, this whole border crisis, migrant crisis, everything that we've been seeing concerning that over these months, dealing specifically with the northern tribes, it's gonna hit home for you southern kingdoms too. All right, you southerners too, your southern tribes. Y'all gonna get it too. All right, and this guy, like I say, was just talking about how amongst the black communities, man, We gotta, reduce this crime. So as far as the northern and the southern kingdom, pursuant to Jeremiah 37, hey man, the Jacob's trouble, man. More and more we see the stage being set. All right. And Esau, he's moving in on the tribes, man. And as of recently, this guy talking about reopening Alcatraz, to that, supposedly house these dangerous criminals and things of that nature. All right. Hey, this double Revelation 12 coming down with that great wrath. More and more we're seeing this devil come down with that great wrath, as I just read. More and more he's declaring his wickedness, specifically against the tribes. All right. Because I want to play this video here. Who's this by? And I just want to say fair use. Of course, I'm not making any type of monetary gain. This is just strictly for informational purposes. But this video here off of ABC News, and you see the title, Trump says, I don't know if he's required to uphold the Constitution. And boy, because he's steady signing all type of executive orders. All right. He just signed one out of several executive orders, basically militarizing, basically making Babylon more of a militarized state. All right. A more militarized state, man. Give them more powers when it comes to these deportations and things of that nature. Basically using more military force. All right. So the pot is being stirred, man. All right. I'm gonna go ahead and play this video here.
Trump, who told an interviewer that he doesn't know if he's required to uphold the Constitution when carrying out his immigration policy. He's also defending his trade war against claims it will hike prices for American consumers. Chief White House correspondent Mary Bruce has the story. Good morning, Mary.
Good morning, George. Well, President Trump is sparking a lot of questions and concern this morning about his deportation policies after he deferred to his lawyers when asked if he needs to uphold the Constitution. This morning, President Trump is arguing his aggressive deportation policies may take precedence over the constitutional right to due process, which is protected by the Fifth Amendment.
I don't know. I'm not a lawyer.
The Fifth Amendment says no person shall be deprived of life, liberty, or property without due process of law. But when asked if he believes every person on American soil, citizens and non-citizens, is entitled to that due process, the president suggesting that giving immigrants due process would slow down his promised mass deportations.
I don't know.
Well, the Fifth Amendment says
I don't know. It might say that, but if you're talking about that, then we'd have to have 1 million or 2 million or 3 million trials. We have thousands of people that are some murderers and some drug dealers and some of the worst people on earth, but some of the worst, most dangerous people on earth. And I was elected to get them the hell out of here, and the courts are holding me from doing it.
But even given those numbers that you're talking about, don't you need to uphold the Constitution of the United States as president?
I don't know. I have to respond by saying again, I have brilliant lawyers that work for me, and they are going to obviously follow what the Supreme Court said. What you said is not what I heard the Supreme Court said. They have a different interpretation.
Overnight on Air Force One, the president also defending his trade policy as new tariffs kick in.
Every country, almost without fail. Brendan Bowe has been ripping us up.
And that's pretty much the point there. Because going on in the video, man, this guy's just straight up lying through his teeth, because he's talking about dealing with these tariff wars. He's basically lying, straight up lying, talking about, basically these countries like China, they're begging for a deal, when that's not the case at all, man. This dude is just straight up lying. Again, the devil is doubling. He's doing what he does best. All right. And still telling the people what they want to hear. All right. Talking about, just lying through his teeth altogether. I was going to go here in Revelation 2, because dark days are ahead for the tribes. You try specifically, again, as I quoted Jeremiah 30:7. All right. Revelation 2 and 10. Fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer. Because listen, pursuant to 2 Ezra 16, there's going to be a great insurrection upon those that fear the Lord. All right. because notice how I said earlier, as far as the squeeze, we're all gonna feel the squeeze, and including those of us of the hopefully elect. We're gonna feel it as well. We're gonna, not so to say get caught up in the mix, but it's gonna get bad for all of us. Now the difference is, of course, where our faith lies. All right, because like I mentioned with that the modern day sieging, the modern day trench. I'm gonna hold this. I'm gonna come back to this. I'm gonna go to this in the book of Luke 19. Luke 19 and because what is it ultimately going to lead to? Well, Luke 19 and 43. For their days shall come upon thee, that thine enemy shall cast a trench about thee, and compass thee round, and keep thee in on every side. So like I said, it's a modern day sieging. All right. A modern day besieging. All right. And this trench, when you go into the Greek word, it's the same Greek word, or it's the same root word, goes back to the same root word that you read about in Revelation 13, dealing with the mark, which you got the charagma, which is the actual, implantable device itself. But then you've got the charax, which goes into that palisade, basically that fencing in, that encamping about, which is basically the instrument that's going to be used in actually inserting the MOTB, the actual C-hip itself, into the body. All right. That palisade, when you look into that palisade, it's basically an fencing, and again, this it's a modern day trench. It's a modern day siege. All right. And, ultimately Esau, like I said, he's trying to, the elites, they're trying to back everyone to a corner, into this corner. They will back everyone into this corner to where, because you have some that say, well, what if they force me to take the C-hip? Well, it's more so going to be a willing mind. All right. One thing that will be forced upon us all is, the fact that we're going to have to make that decision. But as far as the actual forcing, strapping you down and actually, making you take the C-hip, that's just not the case. All right, because it is going to be a willing thing, a thing of a willing mind. All right, and because ultimately Yahweh Shema Shah is going to see. He wants to see. Well, he already knows, but of course, it just has to play out in our lifetime. Who's going to willingly take the C-hip? All right, because hey, I'm just speaking as a man. If the Lord left it up to Esau, he would he probably would forcibly strap everyone down, and but it's the Lord's program. All right. So again, as I've been quoting Jeremiah 30:7, Jacob's trouble. All right. Hence the name itself, trouble for Jake, which Jake is just short for Jacob. All right. Jacob being the progenitor of the 12 tribes, had the 12 sons, Judah, Benjamin, all the way down to Issachar. All right. Jake is in trouble. Jacob is in trouble. Revelation 2. Back in Revelation 2 and 10, for fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer. So you see, because that's why we are catching our hell now. I can't help but to think, because brothers are just catching hell. It's like, damn, on every side, it's just like brothers can't catch a break. And it's just how I look at it, man. It's just like, man, the Lord is really putting the final touches up on brothers before the Lord really shuts this thing down, because the Lord's about to put a close to this. So he's putting those final touches up on brothers. Here and there, brothers need more faith here. Way, brothers need more patience here, or whatever the case may be. The Lord's putting those final touches on brothers, because we're moving rather quickly. Again, Revelation 12:12, the devil knoweth that he have but a short time. He's coming down with that great wrath. All right. So again, 2 Ezra 16, that burning wrath of a multitude is kindled over you. All right. The stage is set more and more every day. Is a day closer to Jacob's trouble. But Lord willing, we are that number. Like I said, fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer. Talking to the hopefully elect. Behold, the devil shall cast some of you into prison, that ye may be tried. And ye shall have tribulation 10 days. Be thou faithful unto death, and I will give thee a crown of life. So It's gonna be a time of great testing. All right. If not, well, why does it say that ye may be tried? It said ye shall have tribulation 10 days, and 10 like 7 is just another symbolism for completion. You're gonna be 10 days, might be a week, whatever the case may be. You know, for those that are getting locked up and sent to these camps, whatever the case may be. But it also mentioned be faithful unto death, because hey, some of the elect are going to get martyred, you know. But hey, hey, with that being said, if you die in your house shy, then hey, it's nothing greater than that, man. For one of the Lord's servants to the death of one of the Lord's saints, one of the saints, man. Hey, that's pleasing to the Lord, man. And the angels will be right there to hey, bring your spirit up to Yahweh Shema Shai, and hey, you did it, That's what the scriptures talk about. Those that have already perished, those that are going to perish, and we're going to meet them in the clouds when Yahweh Shai returns. So, because the scriptures say that they love not their lives unto death. We're already to a point, or we should be to a point where, we just, hey, death is, hey, like the Apostle Paul said, hey, I'd rather be in the spiritual realm, but knowing, of course, is more needful for him, likewise us, to all be here, for the greater purpose. All right, because death is the last enemy to be defeated. And this is the time where hey, death is going to have our final sting, man. Death is going to have our last dance. All right, so and this is what the Lord is preparing us for. This is what the Lord is preparing His elect for, man. We're coming to the last hoorah. All right. We're coming to the last hoorah, man. This is the final lap. So that's why there's the constant exhortation, throughout the scriptures to hey, hold fast to that crown. All right. Exhorting one another, do much tribulation, we're going to enter into the kingdom. There's just this constant exhortation, because it's going to get tough, man. We're all going to have our darkest hour, like Yahweh Shai, our darkest moment. Again, man, we're coming in more and more to that time, to the greatest, the great temptation, where the world is going to be tested, tried. All right, the hour of temptation, like the scriptures say, So the stage is being set more and more. This guy Trump, man, he's looking like he could be the dude, man, to set it off. Like I said, Lord willing, don't see us going outside of, this term. So I mean, Lord willing, this could very well be it, man. As far as this term, DJ Trump being that cruel Lord, all right, just the way that he's operating in the spirit, hey, this could very well be it. So buckle up, man. All right, Jacob's trouble, man, it's right around the corner, But and this guy, man, he's just, because, scriptures go into martial law and things of that nature, where your constitution is suspended. Because, right now you got all these people that, basically fucking with the cops. They fuck with the law enforcement. Oh, I know my rights, doing all these videos. That shit's not going to fly nowadays. All right. There's coming a time these people are going to find out you don't have no rights. All right. You ain't got no rights. And none of that shit's going to fly when that time comes. Bitches twerking on the fucking highway and shit, middle of the street and shit. All right. None of that shit's going to fly. These cats, they're just going to shoot. They ain't even going to ask questions, man. They just going to be mauling Jake down, man. Be mauling these people down. That's why, hey, like I said, death is going to get ready to have her last dance. All right. It's going to be mass deletions out here, man. Mass casualties, man. So, hey, one day closer, one day closer. Lord, one of this was edifying. All praises to Yahweh Shai. Shalom to you, hopefully, elect.